Hi, everyone. We're back again. Books and More 1818 with another fabulous episode. I'm going to let today's guest introduce herself. I'll just say her name, and her name is Wanda Peretz.
Hi.
Welcome to our show, Books and More 1818. Wanda Peretz, please share your book with us, hold it up, and give us a little bio of who you are.
Okay.
Wow.
Sylvia, this is my very first book that I've written. And it is a picture book. And it's basically about the two artists who painted the ceiling or ceilings of wooden synagogues in the 1700s. And just to take a little peek in, we have the end papers of the book. These are the original archival photographs that are actually in the Tel Aviv Museum of Art. They're archived there, and the pictures were taken 1 year before the entire synagogue and its town of Gvudjetz was burnt to the ground in 1914 in the First World War. And so we have these pictures, and because we have those pictures, they were able um, Hans House Studio was able to reconstruct this particular synagogue ceiling for the Poland Museum in Warsaw. So people can actually go to Warsaw and stand underneath a recreation of this ceiling. And that's what inspired me to write this book, because I was standing underneath this magnificent recreation and I just got goosebumps and waves of emotional reaction to the ceiling, and I started crying. And they didn't have a children's book in the gift store in the museum, and so this is in 2016. And basically I said, I'm going to write this book. I feel very connected to the two artists who painted it. Their names are Israel ben Mordechai Lisnicki and Isaac ben Yehuda Leb HaKohen. And we know that because they signed their names on signature medallions on the ceiling. They put where they were from, they put their hometown, and they quoted from the Isaiah, the prophet Isaiah, on their signature medallions. So it is illustrated by Boris Shapiro. And one of the amazing synchronistic things that happened with this book is that I discovered that Boris was born in the same province that these two artists came from 300 years ago. So they were born miles apart,
Wow.
but 300 years apart. But they came from the same place. In when they were alive, it was the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. When Boris was born, it was the former Soviet Union, and now it's in the Ukraine. It's in a city called Lvov and province called Lvov. So that's the basically what the book is celebrating. It's celebrating Jewish artists from 300 years ago through a present day Jewish artist. And that's basically what it is. That's my book.
Can you read us and show us the wonderful illustrations in the book? A very small clip, snippet of the
Oh,
book.
okay. I'm going to choose um I'm going to choose this page. Let me get it there. Um, because this page is the illustration showing they've gotten the commission to do the work. They're on their way to the town of Gvudjetz, which is on this little signpost here, and their hometown of Yarichov and Lvov is on the other side of the signpost to show where they're coming from. Across the top of the page, I have the Traveler's Prayer in Hebrew letters, and it says, "A sturdy donkey pulls the cart, packed full with paints and tools of art, brushes, buckets, hard cakes of soap, scaffold planks, and lengths of rope. The road from their hometown is long. To pastime, they break into song. The music over meadows floats. There's hidden sparks among the notes." So we have the Traveler's Prayer in Hebrew, but I can't read Hebrew. So I put it in English. So this page folds up and we see the Traveler's Prayer on a scroll that's being carried by these two little birds who appear on other pages in the book. And we also have the Traveler's Prayer in transliteration down below the scroll. So that's one page. And then they come to the town and they get to see inside the synagogue. It's not every page that opens up like this, but we have two large quadruple spreads. One is in the center of the book and it celebrates Shabbat. That this is, even though the town is taking care of them and giving them good food and places to sleep, it's from stopping and resting and observing Shabbat that these two artists are totally filled with inspiration and energy for the rest of the week. I wonder if I can.
That is just marvelous. I absolutely adored the book. It's for children, but technically adults can enjoy it too. The artistry is amazing. Look at the
He,
photos, ladies and gentlemen. They're life. They're amazing.
he's amazing. He's an amazing artist. He worked so hard on this. We worked for 7 years together. We
Wow.
worked online. He doesn't speak English very well. I don't speak Hebrew. I don't speak Russian. And so, but we write. We wrote in English back and forth and back and forth. We met like maybe twice in the 7 years.
Oh,
And he just put his whole heart and soul into recreating these vistas, and these are little Polish red squirrels, and there's red squirrels on the ceiling in the original artwork. Um, here's the a mama and her daughter. They're making food. They're making sure that they are well nourished. And if we open this,
oh,
here is this Shabbat center spread. I don't know if you can see all of that, but basically Shabbat opens up, and so we're able to see basically the inspiration.
beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for sharing this with us. Now I'm
You're
going to throw some
welcome.
questions at you. Here we go. What,
Okay,
what sparked your interest in the lost wooden synagogues of Poland?
so in 2014, I signed up for an adult education, extended education, continuing education art class. And the instructor of that uh, art class this was his passion, this artwork. So he showed up with these photo Xeroxes of these images, and he said, "This is what we're going to study for the next 6 weeks. You're going to make your own artwork inspired by this amazing, unique Jewish sacred folk art that was around 300 years ago." And that's when basically I got bitten by the bug. And I just became kind of obsessed with studying it. And I would draw my own version of their animal characters, and I would have them, just be in the sky. I just could sketch and sketch and sketch forever. And then after I went to the museum, that's when I was inspired to write the book. But it all started with that art class and interacting basically with the images that they had painted. So I felt like almost like I was communicating across time and space, sort of.
I can tell you're very passionate about your work. That's
I love
great.
it.
You're so excited. I'm so happy to see that. Brings me pleasure, I'm telling you. Wow. Tell us about Boris Shapiro, the illustrator of your book. Why did you choose him?
So in the early 2000s, so this is maybe 2001, his artwork was featured in a pop-up gallery in Beverly Hills. We were living in Los Angeles at the time. And I was just walking down Beverly Drive and I popped into this, I saw all this artwork in the window. And basically, an art gallery from Jerusalem had brought over all these paintings and sculptures of various Jewish artists. And I saw this one painting. I'm actually looking at it right now. It's in my living room, it's above our piano. And I fell in love with his style of artwork. It's very fantastical. Um, and basically, I bought the painting. There's a little bit of a story behind that, but I won't go into that right now. But I bought the painting, and I wrote him a letter, and we met him the following year in Jerusalem at the art gallery that had this show in Beverly Hills, and we were like tongue tied in front of each other again, but we made that connection in 2002. And then life happens, and then I get involved with this artwork. I go to Poland. I come back and I write this poem. I wrote the poem very, very quickly. It just kind of poured out of me, and I feel it was very inspired. And and then I reached out again to him over the internet. Do you remember me? We met in 2002. Of course, I remember you. And I said, have you ever illustrated a children's book? And he was very modest. He didn't tell me he had illustrated several big books for Chabad, and he has this way of illustrating spiritual concepts. So that these are books again for children, but you see this illustration, which is worth more than 1,000 words, but it communicates a spiritual concept, and it's just lovely. So I was thrilled when we came to an agreement and we decided to form a partnership, and we started working, and we worked all through the pandemic. It's kind of what kept me grounded and happy and busy during the pandemic. It kept him happy and working and earning, our agreed upon amount. And then just this last March, we had our book launch at the Ani Museum in Tel Aviv. And so and the reason we had it there is because there's another one of these synagogue ceilings that's in the main stairwell at the Ani Museum, and it's by Israel Ben Mordechai Lesnicki, a different ceiling, totally different,
Wow.
but we wanted to have the book launch there, and actually we left the Ani Museum with about 100 copies that are signed by both Boris and myself for the book launch. We left them there so that people in Israel would be able to get a copy of the book if they so desired. But they have to go to the Ani Museum.
So, how long did you and Boris work together on the ceiling?
It was it was 7 years of work, and then this last year has been just the coordinating of working with the printer, getting the actual all the graphic design done. The graphic design was done by Irit Harel in again in Israel, and it was printed in Israel. We wanted to print the book in Israel. I didn't want to print it in anywhere else in the world. I wanted to have printed in Israel on the book cover. So we've been working now, I guess, technically 7 years with the illustrations, and then another year just working together, coordinating everything. And he was there. He made a beautiful speech. It was in Hebrew. And someone was translating in my ear what he was saying. And his speech was the most powerful speech of the evening. It was quite incredible. So
Wow.
I'm very
I'm
honored.
mesmerized by this. This is like a labor of love. Amazing.
Yes.
Really,
Absolutely.
really is.
Absolutely. I feel it was kind of like my assignment to bring um the ceiling had been brought back to life by Hans House Studio, and I felt like a special charge to bring back Israel and Isaac and just imagine what what their creative and artistic adventure was painting the ceiling. Like the ceiling is like 36 feet high at the highest point, which means they had to build wooden scaffolds to get up. And when you start imagining the preparation and then the actual physical painting of the ceiling, what it took, the team of people that they must have had working with them, and they made all their own paints. The paints are made daily because they'll dry out and you have to regrind everything. It's quite incredible, like the whole artistic endeavor.
Where can one purchase your book?
The book is right now, the book is technically not for sale. I've decided that because it is a labor of love, because the the cost of a children's book is it would be nice to charge $36 or $50 for this beautiful book. That would be great. And then you start uh, working with the people who are carrying the book. And it was just like, you know what? I just want it in the museums that are tied in with the ceilings. And I want people to, instead of paying for the book, they donate to certain programs at those museums or the museum as a whole in order to give the gift further. So if it's to do with a program that's for children's creativity and they bring kids in and they have all these pictures around of the animals and you have coloring supplies. That's kind of in my mind where I want the money to go. But right now, it's all tied in with Jewish Gen. So Jewish Gen is a genealogical hub online. And what they do, they have a certain project that's called the Yitzker Book Project. So they publish, look how look how thick that is. This is the memories of a town called Radom, and they translated all of this work that would have been in Yiddish or Hebrew. And they're all from like 1961, 1974. So I found out that the Gevudjet's Yitzker book has been sitting, there's 3 copies that I've found. It's sitting and it's just waiting to be translated into English. So I said, I'll be the project leader. I will raise the money. And then it was just like, I have a way to raise the money. Because I will gift out my book. I will ship it from my house. They're all sitting in my living room in boxes. And I ship them out and people communicate with me online. They make a donation directly to Jewish Gen. I am asking $180. I know that that's a lot of money, but this isn't the book is the gift that you get for making this donation that will have the translation of the Yitzker book for Gevudjet's available to anyone who's researching that town. Maybe their family came from there. The towns are all gone. All we have left are these Yitzker books. So that's what I'm determined to do. I'm determined to raise the money for the translation. It's about $6,000. We've raised about two and a half already. And we'll go forward and we'll just keep asking for donations until that's complete. And then we'll turn to some other creative Jewish project that needs support. Because I think that's what Israel and Isaac would have loved. They would love to know that their story is creating and more opportunities for children and adults to interact with their work and just all the joy that's in the work and in the artwork. There's so much joy in it. So that's how you get the book. You contact me through my website, which is wandaperetzauthor.com. And you have to scroll down a little bit until you get to publicity and media. And then you click on an order now, and it takes you to the the page that has where you make your donation directly to Jewish Gen. And then you fill in your information for shipping and you send me a message and I'll respond that same day and I'll get the book mailed out to you as soon as I'm able to do that. And there's a tracking number and I send you the tracking number and it's nice because I get to meet everybody who is going to be ordering and making a donation. I get to interact with them personally, and I send them a thank you letter with the book. And that's my gift back. So I'm just trying to like one mitzvah pulls another. It's just like this is a way of paying it forward for all of us. So everybody wins on this one.
Wonderful. Now, what did we say was the significance of the Yiska Book Project?
That it's the Yitzker book are the collections of the memories, recipes, photographs, drawings, poetry of the people that lived in these towns that were destroyed in the Holocaust, and they collect them all. And so the Yitzker book for Gevutjetz is like over 300 pages of these memories and stories. There's also chapters on the stories and legends of the old wooden synagogue. That's this synagogue. And the Baal Shem Tov came to visit one day, and they have this story about what happened when the Baal Shem Tov visited and had like a private meeting with the rabbi of the town. And the memories are heartbreaking on one sense. I've read the translation of the chapters that have come through, and I've literally burst into tears just reading these words. They're mostly in first person. Sometimes they're recalling a memory of their grandparent, but this is also a way of bringing back to life, back into available research and consciousness, these voices, the voices from, I guess, the 1920s and the 1930s. The town was actually destroyed in May 1941. There's a specific date where basically it was over for Gevutjetz, but they collected these stories, and several of the people made Aliyah before the war, and they tracked him down somehow, and they collected these stories, and it's just been waiting to be translated into English. If you read Hebrew, great, you can read it, but I can't read Hebrew, so I want it in English. And this is the beautiful project that they do with every single Yitzker book that they can find. Jewish Gen they've got a whole system of matching the translators to the books and the project leaders to the books, and everybody's working as a team. And the guy that is my liaison, he came to the book launch in Tel Aviv, and we were able to shake hands and give each other a hug. It's like, we've been working together for the last 6 months, again, online. And then suddenly you meet these people and you look in their eyes and you realize we're all in this together. This whole project is so much bigger than I ever imagined it could be. And it's because of all the people who have contributed, the people who printed it. It's very nicely printed. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous book, very high quality. And there are 6 pages in each book that fold down. Someone at the printer had to fold and very carefully fold, wearing gloves and everything, fold down each of those pages to make the book what it is. Little magical, hidden and revealed with the pages that fold up. So
Thank you. Thank you.
that's the story.
Thank you for coming on our show, Books and More 1818. We're going to have to sign off because time is running out. But everyone, like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel. It's a free channel. And get her book.
I want to thank you so much, Sylvia, too. This was delightful interacting with you. We did it a couple of weeks ago, and there were some glitches, and we decided to do this again. So I'm very happy to have the second chance to talk to you and interact with you. So now you're connected with the ceiling. We're all underneath the ceiling. So
It's beautiful, wonderful collaboration. I'm more than happy to have you on my show again if need be. What a
absolutely.
pleasure.
All
Thank you,
right.
everyone.
Thank you,
Unfortunately,
Sylvia.
we're signing out now. Watch, like, comment, share. Bye, everyone. See you real soon. Bye-bye.